Hello, Karalyn here. I teach Pilates at the UMSL Group Center, and today I'm bringing you a Pilates that's going to be a little bit faster paced. So we're going to get the heart rate up a little bit to start, and then we'll make our way down to the mat. So make sure you've got your mat ready, and then we're going to start standing. So go ahead and find a place with those feet that's about hip distance apart. Feel those feet nice and firm under you. We're going to take the arms out in front, and then sink the hips back, come down into a squat. As we press into the heels, lift up, and arms will lower. So we'll sink back, arms go forward, and then press into those heels to lift. We'll keep going here, starting to warm up through the lower body, starting to get that heart rate up, and we'll add the breath. So I like to inhale as I lower and exhale to lift. Can give that a try. And if that's not working for you, reverse the breath. As long as you breathe here, that's what we're going for. Let's take two more, keeping those knees behind the toes, pressing into the heels, sinking the glutes back. We'll come all the way up. Now take it out to the side, down, up through center. Other side, out, down, and up. So widening that squat, still trying to get nice and low here, and each rep we do, maybe we sink a little bit lower. Adding that breath. Reaching those arms forward, keeping that chest lifted, feeling the core help you as you lower down. So feel the belly button pull in, supporting the spine. One more each side. And then let's come back through center. We're going to take it back. So lunge back and lift. Stay on that same leg. Reach back and lift. I know my heart rate's already getting up, so my breath's going. Make it a little difficult to talk here, but stay with me. We're lunging back, trying to keep that front knee still behind the front toes. Next one, we stay back there. Lunge, hold, pulse. 3, 2, 1. Lift up, same leg. Back, pulse. 3, 2, 1. And up. One more time. Back and pulse. 2, 1. Lift up to the other side. Reach back and up. And we can change up those arms if you want to. Maybe they come to the hips. Maybe they come forward. Wherever you're at, make sure you're breathing. Feel the belly engaged, the legs working, the glutes working. Next one, we're back. Hold, pulse. 2 and 1. Lift up. Pulse. 2 and 1. And up. Last one. Pulse. 2 and 1. We're up. Shake out those legs. Take a few breaths here. We're going to do some standing work. So standing with, let's start with that right foot underneath of us. Hands will come to the hips. We're going to lift those right toes, take them to the mat, and then reach that leg forward once you're balanced. We're going to let the toes come down and draw little semicircles out to the side and back and around. So just letting that toe maybe graze the floor here, graze the mat. I know my heart rate's still coming back down. Good, so it's a challenge, right? We just got that breath going. Now we have to steady ourselves. So just noticing that this takes a different kind of concentration. Now let's start to tap those toes. So we'll do 5 taps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing, tap it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more times. Really standing strong through that supporting leg. And center. Now we're going to hover those toes. Draw that same semicircle. See if we can keep those toes lifted the entire time. So a few things that I'm focusing on that standing leg. Trying to reach that top inner thigh back. So I feel really strong and lifted here. I'm not sinking into the hip. I'm keeping my shoulders open, my collarbones wide. And as that leg goes behind me, I'm trying not to lean forward too much here. So staying centered with the spine. After this last one, we'll come all the way forward and then bring that in. Go ahead and shake out those legs. So now, that left foot's gonna be our standing leg. So feel it firmly planted beneath you. Start to come onto the right toes, and then we'll reach the toes forward. They graze the ground as we start to draw that semicircle out, and back, and reverse. So as you go, one side might be a little bit more challenging than the other. Maybe you feel a little bit more wobbly on this side. So find that breath. Feel that standing leg, the top inner thigh. Feel it pressing back behind you, keeping you lifted out of the hip. Feel the foot firmly planted on the ground. Woo. Bring that leg forward. Now we'll go into those taps. So tap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 2 more times. 4 and 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Working hard here. That standing leg is still strong. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hover the toes. Start to draw that circle out and back. And we reverse. Woo. That standing leg is tiring out a little sooner since we already worked it. We've got 2 more. Whew, I'm shaking, I don't know about you. Last 2, and last one. Go all the way back. Feel the belly pull in as that leg goes back. And then we'll bring it forward. Whew, set the leg down and shake it out. We're gonna do one more exercise while we're still standing. So now we'll switch back to that left leg. Plant down with the right. Bring that left knee up. So the knee should be just about in front of the hip, and that ankle can just kind of hang out here. So we're already balancing, right? Top inner thigh goes back. We grow long, tall through the top of the head. From here, as I lean forward, I'm going to start to draw that lifted leg behind me. So finding that counterbalance. So as I lean forward, that leg goes back. And then as I lean back, that leg comes forward. So depending on where your center of gravity is, you'll know where that leg needs to be in space as you start to lean the chest down. So make this a nice fluid movement here. On that next one, we're going to stay back there. So we'll lean forward, that leg will stay back, and we can hold here. Option to extend that leg back if you want a little bit more challenge there. Holding, and then we'll bend the knee. Come all the way up. As we come up, we're going to release that opposite elbow, tap down, and then reach the arm up, tap. And you can lift that leg to meet it here, but try to still keep that spine as long as you can. So really reaching the tailbone down. Ooh, try one more, feeling the abdominals connect, and then reach the arm up, down to the hip, and we'll lower that leg down, shake it out. Okay, we've got that on the other side. So left foot is planted. Feel nice and light through the hips, that inner thigh reach back. As we lift the leg up, hold. Pause there, find the balance. And then we start to lean forward as that leg starts to reach back. Whew. And then we'll return to center, lifting the knee up. And start to lean forward. Maybe lifting that knee a little bit higher, feeling the glute connect. And up. We'll try that again and stay there. So lean forward, hold. Now we have the option to lengthen the leg, hold, feel strong through that supporting leg, push the top of the inner thigh back, and then we'll come forward, bring that knee up, hold. Release that opposite arm high. Take the knee to elbow, try to meet in center. So it's a little rib curl or abdominal curl there. Staying strong through the supporting leg. Let's take 2 more. Ooh, I can't look back at my cat. I'll lose my balance. 1 more. Ooh, reach the arm up, return the hand to the hip, and then we'll set the foot down. Go ahead and shake out those legs. You should be feeling them and you should know where the ground is at this point. So we are gonna find our way to the mat, but we're gonna take a little roll down to get there. So we'll stand at 1 at the back end of the mat. Go ahead and reach those arms up. Nice big inhale. Exhale as you dive forward, hinging at the hips, reaching the hands for the mat. Pause there, forward fold. Take as much bend in the knee as you need to press the hands to the mat. We're gonna walk hand over hand, coming out to a plank. So hands will be under the shoulders. Reach some energy back through the heels. Feel the abdominals pull up and in to support the spine, and really press the floor away, so find some space between the shoulder blades. We're in a nice strong plank here. Those legs should already feel activated. Now we're adding the shoulders and adding the core. So holding this for 1 more breath. And then go ahead and soften the knees, find the mat. We're gonna come to a quadruped position. So hands will come under those shoulders and we can untuck the toes and make sure those knees feel as if they're under the hips here. So I'm gonna do a little stretch for the spine while we're here. Go ahead and reach the breastbone forward. Start to pull it between the arms. As you do, try to reach that tailbone back behind you. So we feel the spine start to arch, the gaze look forward. And then exhale, we round through the back. So allowing that tailbone to tuck underneath, reaching the back of the ribs for the sky, gaze comes underneath. Inhale, start to reach the breastbone between the arms, reach the tailbone back behind you, find some length across the front of the body. And exhale, round the spine, press the floor away, reach the back of the ribs for the sky. 1 more each way. Find that inhale. Reach the breastbone forward, tailbone back. And then exhale, round the spine, press the floor away. And then we'll come back through center. Stay in this quadruped position. If those ribs need a break, go ahead and sit back and take your pause. Otherwise, reach 1 leg back behind you. Toes will stay down. Just like we drew those semicircles standing, we're going to draw a little semicircle out to the side. As you do, look towards that foot. So feel that side waist start to come together, and then we'll return through center. So same side here. We slide the foot out, look towards that foot, feel the abdominals start to tighten on that side. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. And inhale, come back through center. Lift that leg up, and then we'll tap the toes down. As you lift, we're trying to find that glute connection. So pull the abdominals in, feel that belly button draw in as the leg lifts up. Spine is long, last one. We're gonna keep that leg lifted. Now we're gonna challenge those arms. So we'll keep the elbows close to the body. Start to bend through the elbows as we guide the chest down towards the mat. That leg can lift a little bit higher, that's our counterbalance. And then press up. 2 more times. Start to lean towards that mat. Keep the elbows close, the shoulders down. And last one, inhale to lower. And exhale. Lift up, set the toes down, and then slide that knee in. Let's go ahead and sit back just for a moment. We can come down through child's pose. And then set the elbows on the mat. Let's roll out those wrists. I know mine are a little bit tired, so yours might be too, so give yourself a moment there. And then let's pop right back up. Find that same position, fingers spread wide. Knees under the hips. Once you're there, feel the shoulders pull down the back. Chest a little bit forward, and then slide that opposite leg back. Toes stay down. We slide that semicircle out to the side. Look at the toes. Exhale. Inhale through center. Couple more like that. Feel the side pull together as that leg goes out. And let's take one more. Come back through center. Lift the leg up and down. So try to find that glute on this side as well. Abdominals pull in. And we're imagining that the spine doesn't change its shape here. So as the leg lifts, we don't create any more arch in the spine. Try one more. We'll keep the leg lifted. Hold. Keep the elbows narrow. As we start to bend the elbows, lower the chest down. That leg can lift as our counterbalance, and then exhale. Press up 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Whew, last one. And exhale. Tap the toes down. Slide the knee in. And let's find that child's pose again. Reach the hands out. Sink the hips back. Pause there. And then we'll bring ourselves forward. Flip onto our bottoms here, and we'll face the short side of the mat. So from here, we're just gonna find a roll down. So make sure you've got enough space to come laying down on your back. We're gonna reach the hands forward. Use those fingers to lift the spine up, so shoulders are over the hips. Once you're there, allow that tailbone to roll underneath of you as you start to melt back. Reaching the low back for the mat, trying to get that to be the first thing that touches down. And then we'll take the arms overhead, inhale, and then circle on the exhale, hands down to the hips. Let's take one leg to tabletop. Bring the other to meet it here. Feel how the core is already engaged. So belly button is pulling down towards the spine. And I want to imagine that even those obliques, those side abdominals, are pulling in towards the belly button. So I've got a nice, strong core. Once you are there, take the arms, interlace the hands behind the head. Inhale, we're going to rest the head down. On the exhale, start to lift the breastbone up. Find our curl. And then inhale, lowers you down. So we've got the low abdominals engaged with those legs lifted. And now we're working those mid and upper abdominals by lifting ourselves away from the mat. Really using that exhale to press the back of the ribs into the mat, giving you a little bit more help on that curl. Try one more. We're gonna stay up there. Exhale, curl. Release the hands, send them down towards the hips. Stay in that curl, lift a little bit higher, and then bend the knees, take the hands to the shins. We're in a nice tight ball. We're gonna release one leg forward. Both hands can grip that knee, hug it a little bit closer, and then we'll switch. And switch. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And you're welcome to speed up the breath if you need to here. We're reaching through those toes so that leg is long. Trying to lower it down towards the mat, keeping the abdominals pulled in. Stretching that hip that's coming into the body. And give me one more set here. Stay in that curl. Maybe curl a hair higher. Ooh, we're gonna stay there. Hug both knees in. Now release those hands and legs up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, hug them in. Release up. And exhale. Same thing, release up. Exhale, now we're gonna add on. Lengthen those arms and legs. Lower them away from each other. Circle the arms, hug the knees in. 2 more. Lift up. Lower. Exhale, circle. And last one, lift up. Lower. Circle. Woo. And then we'll rest the head down. Go ahead and let the knees sway side to side. Give yourself a moment to catch your breath if you lost it. And then from here, set the feet back to the mat. We're going to press the palms down to the mat, feel the collarbones wide. And we want those knees just about hip width apart. So they should be fairly narrow here. We feel those feet firmly planted into the mat. We're going to start that roll up to our bridge. So pull the belly button down, start to tilt that pelvis towards the breastbone so that pubic bone is reaching to the breastbone there. Press the feet into the mat to lift the hips, start to roll the spine off the mat, finding your full bridge. Pause there. Now release the arms up towards the ceiling. We're nice and strong here. Point the thumbs down as you start to take the arms overhead. Make it a wide V. Pause there. And now start to roll the spine down. So melting down at the breastbone. Trying to lengthen the spine away from the hands. This might feel like a really nice stretch if the spine is tight. Release onto the tailbone and then hands to the mat. We'll start the roll up. Rolling that pubic bone towards the breastbone. Press into the feet. Activate the hamstrings and glutes to lift your hips up. Hold there. Lift the arms, point the thumbs down. Wide V with the arms, pause. Now melt the breastbone down towards the mat, creating space along the spine. Finishing that exhale, and then place the hands down. Let's do 2 more. We'll roll up, really trying to find all those lovely muscles around the spine, trying to open those up as we roll the spine up and down, creating that length, and then set the hands down. Last one here, rolling at the pelvis, pressing the low back to the mat. Pressing the feet into the mat to roll those hips up. And then hands overhead. Roll the spine down. Release that tailbone. And then set the hands for the mat. So palms will stay down on this one. Check in with those collarbones. Make sure they're feeling wide here. We're going to find a bridge. This time we're going to lift straight up with the hips. So instead of rolling right with the pelvis, we're going to just press into the feet, lift those hips up, and then lead with that tailbone to set the hips down. So we've got a little space under that back depending on the arch of our spine. And we're trying to maintain that same length of the spine. So the spine is the same shape as it lifts up and down. On that next one, we're going to stay up there. So lift up, hold. Now press into one leg as we release that opposite leg up towards the sky. Hold that leg high as we set the hips down and press up. Trying to keep the hips level here. Working that standing leg. 2 more. Find your breath, last one. And set the hips down, bring that leg in. We're gonna lift the hips high, we've gotta switch our legs. Once they're there, reach that opposite leg up, hold it long as we set the hips down. Press into the foot, lift high. Down and up. Collarbones still wide, last 2. Got energy through those toes, and last one. And then we'll set the hips down, return that leg. From here, let's find a roll up. So let's go ahead and lengthen those legs out. We're gonna press through those heels and flex the feet. Take the arms overhead on the inhale. As you start to exhale, curl the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. Reach with those fingertips down towards the feet to find our roll up. And then we'll stack the spine, lifting tall. We're going to take the hands behind us, and let's go ahead and point the fingers in towards the body, and then we're going to lean down on those forearms. So bend the knees. We're going to do a little abdominal work from this position. So when we're here, it's tempting to kind of fall into those shoulders and hang out. So we really want to press the hands down, press the forearms into the mat, and try to reach that breastbone high. So collarbones are wide. We're going to lift those legs to just about a tabletop position here. So we should feel those abdominals already turn on. We're going to take both legs over to one side, allowing that opposite hip to lift, and then we'll take it through center to the other side. So those hips are swaying, but we're keeping those arms down, and we're trying to keep that chest in center so we're not moving too much through the upper body. As you do this, feel that belly pull in towards the spine. And then we're going to add a little bit of movement with those legs. So start to one side, pause. We're going to lengthen one leg. We'll do our little kick here. Bring both knees in, and we'll switch, kicking 1, 2, 3, and in. Switching 1, 2, 3, and in. Last set. 1, 2, 3, and in. Coming back through center, and then we'll set those feet down. We're going to come all the way up, so go ahead and press yourself up. And then now the hands will still point forward, and we want the hands to be just about shoulder width. So they'll be just a little bit outside of the hips. If you kind of draw a line, an imaginary line through the hips here. So we're going to take that same thing, press through the hands, open the chest, open the shoulders. And we want those feet about hip distance apart, and the heels can be pretty close to the body. So once you're in that position, we're going to lift the hips, press those hips forward, find a reverse plank, and then we'll set the hips down to return. So same thing. We'll press through the hands, press through the feet, send the hips forward. We're trying to point the knees over the toes, and then set the hips down. We're going to try one more like that. Feel the shoulders roll open. Press through the feet and hands to lift the hips up. And then come down. Now we're going to add a little bit more work for those triceps. They're already working, but we're going to work them a little bit harder. So make sure those hands are just wider than the hips. Feel the shoulders roll back. Press into the feet and hands. Lift the hips up. And then now, as we sink the hips back, we're going to take them between the hands, hover, and then press the hips forward and up. So the hips will come back between the arms, allowing those legs to lengthen. We hover here, supported with those arms. Whew. And press forward. 2 more. Send the hips back. And up. Last one here. Hips back. Hover, hold, and forward. Whew. And then we'll set the hips down, release the legs forward, and then let's go ahead and circle the arms around, coming into a forward fold, just letting those shoulders and wrists release for a moment. And let's walk the hands in. We're going to flip around onto our bellies and come laying all the way down on the mat. We'll make a pillow with the hands, and we want to adjust ourselves here so the tops of the feet are down towards the mat, and we feel the tops of the thighs and the pubic bone on the mat here. So go ahead and rest the head down and send a little energy through those legs. So we're not going to hang out completely. We want to feel some activation through the legs, feel some activation through the core. So reaching the pubic bone down towards the mat. Keeping all that activation, we're going to lift the chest away from the hands and then lower back down. So it's not a whole lot going on in the upper body quite yet, but I want you to get that sensation of the abdominals activated and those legs activated so that we can find some nice length through the spine without it all dumping into the low back. Let's try one more there. Lifting up, and then set the head down. Now, we're going to hover the head just for a moment to slide the hands under the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide, and then let's set the forehead down and those shoulders can roll forward. Now from here, we're gonna inhale, roll the shoulders back, reach the elbows for the heels as we start to lift the gaze, reaching that chest through the hands to extend and lengthen the spine, and then exhale brings you all the way down. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, elbows reach for the heels, chest reaches forward, finding that extension, and then exhale to lower. We'll try one more. Shoulders roll back. Inhale, chest through the hands, lengthening the spine, and then exhale brings you all the way down. Hover the head, slide the hands back underneath the forehead. And now from here, we're gonna release one arm forward. That head can either set on the hand or just hover. And then all I want you to do is to lift that extended arm up. So hover there and then set it down. So notice how that upper back has to work here to lift the arm. And then on that next one, we're gonna add the opposite leg. So as that arm lifts, lift the opposite leg, floating it off the mat and lower. So really trying to isolate the shoulder and the glute. Try one more. And lower down. Go ahead and rest the head down for a moment. Now from here, I want you to bend that same leg. So still working that side. And all I want you to do is try to reach that knee off the ground. So try to lift it up and lower down. If you like a flex through the foot, you can take it here. That'll get a little bit more into the hamstring. But I also encourage you to try the point, just to notice any differences in the body. Let's try one more, lifting up and down. Now, from here, we're gonna lift that arm and the knee. So lift both up, hold. Now we're gonna reach that arm, circle it back, try to touch the toes, and then everything comes down. Same thing, we're gonna lift up, reach the arm back, that gaze can follow, try to touch the toes, and down. Two more. So you've got a nice shoulder stretch here. We're working the hamstring and the glute. Last one, lift up, reach back, and down, set the foot down, bring that hand in, we're gonna switch sides. So we can start with the head down or hovering. We're gonna lift that long arm up and down, isolating the shoulder. Try two more. Really reaching through the fingers, last one. Now leave the arm where it's at. We're gonna lift, both opposite limbs here. So arm and opposite leg lift up and down. Trying to find the glute on this side. Still feeling the core engaged, pubic bone pressing towards the mat. One more here, lengthening through the limbs. Set that down. Now we focus on the leg. Bend at the knee. Try to lift the knee off the mat and down. Try two more here. Connecting with the glute and hamstring on this side. Now we add the arm. So we lift up. That head can hover. Now reach the arm back towards the toes and then set everything down. Lift up. Reach back, exhale, and down. Two more here. Lift up, reach back, and last one. And down, and then release the leg. Bring both hands underneath the shoulders. We're gonna press ourselves up through tabletop and then sink the hips back. Find that child's pose. And let's allow that spine to stretch. We can crawl the fingertips forward. Try to lengthen the tailbone down towards the heels, creating space along the spine. And then let's press ourselves forward. We're gonna turn ourselves around, come back to our bottoms, and we're gonna end with our teaser challenge here. So I'm gonna have you roll all the way down. So you can use the hands or take the hands forward. Find that roll down. And then once you're there, go ahead and lengthen the legs down the mat. So we'll keep the toes pointed for this one. We're gonna use those arms to help bring us up to teaser. So I'm gonna cue you through this first one. If it doesn't work the first time, we'll try it again. So from here, we're gonna reach the arms up and then take them overhead on the inhale. Point through those toes, feel activation through those legs. So we're super long here. And now we're gonna circle the arms out to the side. Start to tuck the chin towards the chest. Start to lift the gaze. As those hands reach for the heels, try to lift those feet off the mat, coming into our teaser. And then we're gonna roll down, so with control, energy through those fingers, energy through those toes, feel the abdominals, support the movement, and then arms overhead. So you know where we're going now. We're gonna find that moment of balance. So that moment when the hands reach down towards the heels, and those heels can float up towards the hands, okay? So inhale here. Exhale as you start to circle the hands around, nod the chin, lift the legs. Try to float those arms towards the feet, and then with control, we're gonna lower those legs down as we start to roll the spine back. And then arms go overhead. Let's try 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, circle the arms, nod the chin, look towards those feet. As the heels become light, we lift up. And then those abdominals help support the movement as we lower down. And I'm shaking, I hope you are too. Let's try 1 more, inhale. Last one, make it a good one. Exhale. Find that teaser, maybe lift those legs, lift those arms, and then we'll melt down. And roll down. Let's take a stretch. So allow those arms to reach overhead. We can maybe release those feet a little bit wider and let that spine arch a little bit, pressing the chest up. Feel the front of the abdominals lengthen and stretch. We're growing longer and taller here. Take 1 more breath. And then let's circle the arms around. We're gonna bend the knees, and we can use those hands to roll us up, grabbing onto the thighs, coming all the way up. And then I'll circle around here. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And please check out my other videos. I'll see you in the next one.